This YCN segment is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist.
Welcome in, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, and joining me this week, Brett Franklin from 94 ESPN Radio. You can always catch his show every weekday, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1, 94.3 down in Claremont, 94.5 in the Upper Valley, and online at 945ESPN.com. And Brett, thanks for joining me. The final show of the spring/summer. We'll be coming back in the fall, different format. We'll get to that, but thanks for joining me today.
It's an honor, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
We're going to go out with a bang, and like the Cleveland Indians did last night, they went out with a bang. The Red Sox bullpen goes out with a whimper. We'll get to that in a little bit. But after that road trip, coming back from 7-game road trip, 4 in Toronto, 3 in Houston, looked good. Obviously, it was a little disappointing ending, losing 2 out of 3 again to the Astros. But they're still playing right there. I mean, they dug themselves a hole in April, but they're still playing pretty decent baseball.
Yeah, I think overall, considering how you started this season, I think you have to be happy with the way things have kind of turned a corner here. Offensively, this team is still one of the tops in Major League Baseball. I believe they're top 10 in most offensive categories, top 5 in team batting average, runs scored. So the offense is clicking and is putting up runs, which it struggled to do so earlier this season. Obviously, the bullpen is an interesting, test case right now, Jeremy. While they do have 9 blown saves this year, it still has the 8th best bullpen ERA in Major League Baseball. Also has the 4th lowest batting average against as far as bullpens go. So it's really... it's really interesting because Walden, I know he didn't pitch well last night, but he's been really good. Matt Barnes has been unbelievable in the month of May. I think we owe it to Alex Cora to try and let this thing play itself out because he pushed all the right buttons last year. I think we owe it to him as manager to let this thing kind of settle itself out. I don't think signing Craig Kimbrell is the ultimate answer. I know people have thrown that name out as well. But let's see where this team is here as we head into the dog days of summer, and especially as we get to the trade deadline. But I think right now, the Yankees starting to struggle a little bit. The Rays, I think they're eventually going to fall off. And I think the American League is wide open this year outside of the Astros. So it'll be interesting to see, but I think where you started this season, you're happy where you're at.
Right, because they started the season terrible in April. They're still only about 6.5 games back, 7 games in the loss column. They got the Yankees coming up for 4, so that'll be a good barometer to see where they are. You mentioned the offense playing well, and the best player right there on the offense really, arguably, is Rafael Devers. Leads the team in many offensive categories, slightly behind Betts in one of them, Bogarts another, Martinez another. So he's basically consistently one of the top hitters. You mentioned at the beginning of the season, this is a year for his breakout years. Second full season, and he played well last year, and he looks to be having that breakout season.
Yeah, and I know a lot of folks were really excited about him coming into camp this year. He came in shape from a lot of the reports that we had out of Fort Myers. Obviously the defense is something left to be desired, but he's hitting so well that you just cannot not have him in.
Right.
That Red Sox lineup right now. And the sky's the limit for this kid. You look at the young youth movement right now by the Red Sox, right? Devers, Michael Chavis, Xander Bogaerts. This could be a lineup that could be formidable here for the next few seasons. And, again, Devers coming into a, full year here with this Red Sox squad, second full year with this Red Sox squad. It's always interesting to see how you make that adjustments, and he's made them just fine. He's one of the league leading hitters in all of Major League Baseball.
Right. Yeah, he's a good hitter. And like you said, the defense has been better as of late, but still not as good as the offense has been. And we go back to pitching. David Price, a good game last night, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts. Of course, didn't get the win, but he's pitching well after coming out due to flu-like symptoms in his previous start. And the rotation as a whole, what's your confidence level going into the summer?
Yeah, let's start with David Price. He's been great. He has really been everything that you have hoped for when you brought him here to town. I'm really curious what the difference is with him. And I think last night doing it in that lousy weather, not a great night, pitching in front of 10 fans, I thought it's been really impressive. And he's kind of been that that stopper when they've needed him the most this season. You know, I think Chris Sale will turn a corner. Obviously, Nate Eovaldi, when he comes back, what are you going to get out of him? You know, I still think the Red Sox could possibly make a move at the trade deadline. I'm not saying it's going to be a big arm. They don't have a ton of prospects that they can move. But I wouldn't put it past them to maybe try and make a move for a small fourth, fifth starter as we move along. Because I don't think guys like Ryan Weber, who's going to start tonight as we tape this, I don't think he's a guy that's going to be there long term.
And we've seen each year that they've made that type of move. Obviously, Eovaldi last year, and they made those moves throughout the last few years where they get that fourth, fifth type guy and slot him in there every now and then. So the rotation is looking good. The bullpen has some questions. The offense looking strong. We'll take a break, come back, talk about Dustin Pedroia, who looks like he's maybe done for the season, maybe for his career. It's Brett Franklin and Jeremy Stout, YCN Sports Talk.